Because right now, if you ask a person, what is the Me Too movement? You will hear a variety of nonsense, right? There's this misconception that this is a movement about taking down powerful men. Not true. And I don't even mean from the historical context, I mean from Alyssa's first tweet. She simply asked women to stand up and make a declaration. If you have experienced this thing, stand up and say that this happened to you. That's all she asked. Taking it further back from that, the women who accused Harvey Weinstein didn't call for him to lose his job or any of those things. These were people who were trying to find an outlet to tell their truth. They wanted to be heard and believed. What we've seen is a corporate response to that. Corporations who are complicit said, okay, we can't be affiliated with you anymore because now everybody knows, right? And so we have this laundry list of men, and now a woman, who have been taken down from their positions and blah, blah, blah. And they say, well, that's the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement is after these people. No, they're not. No, nobody's after anybody. Also, if folks act right, you wouldn't be on that list, would you? So there's that. But this is not a movement about taking down powerful men. And the hurtful part of that misconception is that the focus is always on the predator. The focus is always on the accused. What do we even looking at, listen, even talking about the famous women in Hollywood, what do we really even know about the women who did the accusing? What do we know about their lives and their healing process and what they needed and we don't know. But I bet we know where Harvey Weinstein is hiding out, right? We hear all about the men and the predators and the accused, but we don't really hear about the people who the stories we need to hear about. So that's a misconception. The other misconception is that this is just about sexual harassment in the workplace. Now, sexual harassment in the workplace is a very important issue. And I have to underscore that and say that. I'm not saying this to say that it's not an important issue, because again, we haven't talked about that since Anita Hill, right? As a country. But there is a way in the media that we have that they will couch all of this under sexual harassment in the workplace because this is my theory, because it's easier. We can say that we have a problem with sexual harassment in the workplace and we need new policies. And they will go into a room and they'll create their policies and they're like, look, we good people again. Gender violence happens on a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum is sexual harassment, not just in the workplace, everywhere. Right? It's the culture that is created. Like what rape culture creates is an environment for harassment to thrive. And so on this end of the spectrum, we have harassment. But that spectrum is long. And we are not dealing with, as a country, we're not dealing with the rest of the spectrum in a real way. There are so many, y'all see the stories and hear the things, there are so many parts of that spectrum. We have not talked about child sexual abuse. We have not talked about rape on campus, even college campuses. We're not talking about, just a number of things that we're not having real sustained national conversations about because people are afraid to go there, but we have to go there because I'm gonna tell you what I see. What I see every day is hundreds, and this is not hyperbole, hundreds of people contact me a day who are in pain. We have opened up a portal. And people who have been holding on to this trauma feel like they finally have an outlet and there's nothing to help them because we're busy talking about, can we hug in the age of Me Too? That's nonsense. It's nonsense. And we will fail these people if we don't change this conversation now. But what's next is our work is about creating space, both online and offline, for survivors. If you don't take anything else away from this evening, you need to know that the Me Too movement is about supporting survivors of sexual violence, making sure the most marginalized of that group have access to tools to craft a healing journey. And it's about interrupting sexual violence wherever it lives. And that is the work that we are doing. That is what we are crafting. We're building a comprehensive website. If you go online right now and try to find resources for healing, or you may find a small group of people who are doing a thing in their community, but on a national scale. Now, some of the big box organizations now have changed their websites. It's amazing to me. They're all talking about healing now. I'm like, y'all lie. It's hilarious. But there are not resources for people to figure out what that looks like. And it looks different. My healing journey is not the same as your healing journey, which is why I talk about radical community healing. Because the difference is I have to figure out what my path to healing is, and I'll be on that journey for as long as I live. But we figure out community healing together. That is people coming together and figuring out what it takes to make your community safe, right? And what it takes to make the most vulnerable in your community feel protected.